Hey guys, welcome back. So आज की वीडियो बहुत ही स्पेशल होने वाली है. So I received a lot of requests on LinkedIn regarding भैया मैं tier 3 कॉलेज से हूँ, मेरे कॉलेज में कोई अच्छी टॉप प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी नहीं आती. I don't know how to approach them. मुझे रिक्रूटर्स कैसे अप्रोच करना है, मुझे एम्प्लॉइज को रेफरल कैसे मांगना है, एंड ऑल थिंग्स लाइक दैट. किस रिसोर्सेज को रेफर करना है. So इन सारे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर देने के लिए I have called someone, and to be honest, I have been connected with that person for the past few months, and he is as inspiring as he is jubilant. मैं तो पर्सनली बहुत इंस्पायर होता हूँ. आई एम श्योर इस सेशन के बाद आप लोग बहुत इंस्पायर होंगे. So he is 2018 pass out and he has cracked top 3 product based companies: Flipkart, Amazon, Morgan Stanley. So ज़्यादा delay ना करते हुए, let's skip to the session, and I'm sure you will find this session useful. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like anything. Regards.
First of all, Prabhakar sir, welcome to my channel and thanks a lot for giving your time for this session. This is certainly going to be useful for a lot of students and especially for the 2021 batch who is going to graduate next year and 2020 batch who will be preparing for off-campus placements. So thanks a lot for your time and welcome to my channel.
Yeah. Thanks for you too for organizing this.
Thanks a lot. So starting with the first question, I see you passed out from a tier 3 college and you cracked 3 tier 1 companies, Amazon, Morgan Stanley and Flipkart. So can you please tell about a short introduction about yourself, how your journey has been so far in terms of industry and in development?
Okay, so I graduated in 2018. So as you told, I graduated from a tier 3 college. So when I was doing, basically when I was doing my engineering, I got a campus placement itself, but I was not quite satisfied, I would say. I want to get into a good product. The first place where I started my working is like Morgan Stanley. So I would say getting into basically I started my internship there. And after that, I continued my full time for some period of time, basically. So I would say the first time, the first company you are getting right from the tier 3 to product based company is the most hardest one. I will explain about this a bit. So and after that, I continued working there for almost close to a year. And after that, I joined Amazon, like I think in 2019, I believe. And after that, I joined Flipkart as a software engineer. I think luckily I joined before January, after this COVID, everything started before. So I'm working now till the hook industry. I'll explain in detail maybe, like just for intro, that's what I'm from. And I'm from computer science background.
Yeah, that's really inspiring to know that. My second question would be, from a tier 3 college passing out, it's very difficult to target the top product based companies because not many product based companies visit tier 3 campuses. So how do you suggest how one from a tier 3 college prepare for the top product based companies?
Yeah, I think it's one of the hard questions that is going around, I believe. So the first thing, so maybe I will talk from my experience, so because I have been through that situation for quite long period of time. So just compare why people from IITs or any tier 1 college, right? Why they are getting recruited, and why people are from tier 3 or any other college. It's not about the college; it's about the person. But if you take the facts again, most of the people are from the tier 1 college. They are maybe providing what kind of skill set, what that product company expecting. So that's why you hear most of the companies going to the college. Still, so I would say most of the companies, maybe not all the companies, they are not targeted based on any particular college. So the reason why they are going and hiring that, right? It's very simple math basically, I would say. So basically they look to hire more because in the short period of time. Let's say if they are trying out 5 or 10 different tier 3 colleges, sometimes they end up not even hiring a single person because they will not be able to right person they are looking for. It's not based on grades or anything else. There are so many other factors. I'll explain that. But if they are going to some tier 1 college, they are able to get that. I think that is the basic thing why you'll be able to see the good placement records in good colleges. So think about what are the things they are providing and what are the things you are lacking in. So I think that is the first thing you have to take a call. And before preparing for most of the product companies, I think 80% of the things whatever most of the product company expecting is almost close to same. But there are every companies will have their own principle of hiring, own standards of hiring. They have their own culture. So before applying for any product-based company, just understand about the company. So what the company does, what is the culture of the company, so what they are expecting. So prepare accordingly to that. So I'll explain in detail like how to prepare and all those things. But
Sure.
that is the main core difference, like getting into the product company. Basically, know what is expected, and after that, try acquiring that in number of ways. There are a number of ways. College is one of the easiest way, I would say, but there are other things you can achieve that also. Once you're able to do that, start reaching out to the people, like maybe the right people. You can, luckily for some people, maybe some of their colleagues even already working there. For someone, they might know some there. But if you have right skill set, LinkedIn is like everyone knows about the LinkedIn. You can easily talk with anyone most of the time. So you can easily reach out there. They'll be happy to refer you. Like once they find they have got the right skill in you. That is a very key thing. First, understand what is required, and try to see where are you in, and what is something you have to do to get that. And third thing, so most of the another mistake I have seen from many people is like they are preparing, like they know everything basically, but almost so they think like, okay, once I'm prepared, the job is done, the job will come to you. It's not like that, to be honest. So that is another part to getting into the product companies. Like make yourself maybe I would say market yourself to get your profile to the
Yeah.
any recruiter, any recruiter. So there is one more different part altogether. So that's why I have called out that there are three things: prepare and be know what is expected, and third time reach out to the right people and crack the interview and get the job. Yeah. So that are the very key things I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really thankful for that answer in depth. My next question is that a lot of times the tier three candidates have this question that they approach me on LinkedIn is that there's a set of skill set that they're lacking. For example, if I take an example of a good product-based company, let's say Google, for example, or Microsoft, for example. So there's specific skill set like data structures algorithm for this for entry-level role, and for the senior level roles, it's like particular in full stack or something. So what are the resources they should refer to bridge that skill set and actually reach to that top tier one companies?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take one step back before we talking about the resources they might refer to. So there is one
Yeah.
more thing I have seen in common, not only from my friends, so many people, maybe the students, even from some people who are working in a service-based company, who is reaching out to me. So what they have in their mind and what is expected from the product-based company is completely different now. I have seen most of the people, they want to know about any particular language. They want to know about any particular technology. So many people are coming and asking, okay, which tech I have to work on, which programming
Yeah.
language I have worked on to get into the product company. So one thing I just want to make it very clear. I think this is something you have to take it as a Bible word. This is something which is common across all the product companies, I would say. So most of the product-based companies will look for your core skills. So what is core skills? I will explain that. There are three skills I will call out that. One most important thing will be your problem solving skill, basically. What is the ability to break down a very complex problem, think about multiple solutions, and have to come up with the right solution. That is one of the key skills that not only in the product company, maybe not only in the software industry, I would say any good place you want to work in, that is a very core thing to be there. So that is something.
Yes.
But in software industry, this same skill set might be expected in the programmer. So don't think like company will come and ask you any basic questions like what is C, what is Java, nothing like that. See, programming language and tech, those things are something like you will use to build the software. But what is tested during the complete interview process, like 80%, maybe 20% or 10% might account to your tech stuff on whatever else. Maybe 80% is your core skills. First thing is like problem solving, very right. Second thing, what is your fundamental analysis, like understanding of computer science subject? So there are n number of subjects, but I won't talk about anyone. And there may be
Yeah.
few people who is from a non-CS background who wants to get in. I'm not going to scare anyone. You can still learn. There are few subjects like first thing I want to call out like OS and DBMS and OOPS. Network maybe you can put in maybe for some level. So these things are very core to any computer science. So most of the time you'll be working on any particular tech or any particular programming language, will not able to think from these points of view, But what happens when you are working in a product-based company and you are working in a very complex project? Most of the discussion is directly or indirectly depends upon these very core skills. So that's why many product-based companies expect the candidates to be very good in basic computer science fundamentals. So there are a few things you might have learned from the college. So you must learn what is expected from the industry standards about all these subjects outside the college. So that is the second thing. First thing is the problem solving. Second is the computer science thing. And third one is like programming. Why I'm saying programming? Because this industry revolves around programming. What I mean by programming is it's like not knowing any particular language. It's about the programming principles. So what is a good practice? What is to be done? What are good to have must do? There is a different number of books where you can study what are the basic programming principles. So this is not biased towards any particular language. So once you study this, you can go and learn what is something you feel like okay, which is applicable to you, and at the same time, if you feel like okay, if I learn this, maybe I can able to implement my programming principles and whatever problem solving much more better. So the choice of choosing the programming language is the most lost step I would say you can go for. Before that, there are very small things, maybe the core things you might need to know. So this is the third thing. Fourth thing, I would say designing principles. Designing principles, maybe it might not be that much expected from the students as a fresher, but you can see now so many students at least know about the basics of the designing stuff. So what happens like in many of the companies, very top product companies, they kind of started testing very basic level of designing. It's not a must to have, but if you are a candidate, you'll able to bring out good designing skills. Even at the starting point of your career, you'll go like reach a reference point at like very high speed. So that's why I would suggest go and learn. Like there are so many design principles, so you can learn this. And one more thing, this is very important. I would say it's part of a core skill, but not a very tech or any other skill. It's like a soft skill. So this is one more part because like most people are not talking is like so most of the time you will learn something. Obviously, every people know the basic stuff. But what happens when it comes to the product company or any good company, you are going to work with multiple people. So basically, there are so many other skills. I would say, what is your leadership principle? What is your ability to like talk and what is your ability to discuss very complex problem with multiple people? What is your ability to manage your time? What is your ability to like let's say there are so many things on your plate. What is your ability to distribute? What is your ability to like help others? There are so many other small factors which I feel like there are many companies which focus on. So many of you know like there is a different round called the hiring manager round, right? This is what is texted like throughout that round, but many people doesn't know. So obviously your whatever things you have done in your past will be tested, but indirectly or might be directly they will be testing your soft skills because soft skills is something very important. That is what at end of the day you are going to do at your job, like whatever skill you have. So these are the five things I would say at a very high level you should know before you even start thinking or doing something into any tech, any mobile or web, machine learning, AI, Python, whatever you want to do it once you're able to finish your course. So if someone asks me, let's say I have only the core skills. I didn't mention about DS and algo, but it is part of that problem solving skills and everything. So if any of you ask you, let's say if I know only these things, will you able to get the job? Most probably, maybe 90%, maybe the 10% is something. Maybe some companies expect, okay, you have to. So these are the skills you have learned. Maybe you can do something on your own, like many very small project. Like I would say, very small thing. Like you can design your own dictionary, something like that. Companies are not expecting any fancy stuff. They want to know, like, okay, are you able to deliver your skills? Let's say I have built one project. It's like a very small project, but I know what I have done. So it's like a very clear call. Okay, this particular candidate who have all the skills at the same time. He was able to implement on his own without even asking anyone and without even asked by anyone. So that is some of the few things you should focus on. I will give you this is a very high level you can go for. So the reason why I'm clearing this out before even talking about any resources, right? So I will give you one more example. Maybe like let's say you are let's say you are an aerospace engineer. Let's say I'm talking about it. So if you don't know the basics of physics and you are talking about okay, what kind of parts I have to fix in, what kind of tools I'm going to make this particular thing, it doesn't make any sense. and a good aerospace engineer will be called as a good aerospace engineer if he knows the fundamentals of physics. It's like that. If you're a good computer science engineer, you should know the fundamentals of computer science before even talking about any technology, any framework, any library, any language. That is one thing I just want to make it very clear, because it might not be very clear in many minds what I have seen in my 2 years, maybe 3 years of experience. Okay, so I'll come into your question. Sorry, man. Sorry for the big explanation. I want to clear that up. So resources, there are plenty of resources. And one more advantage we have in the software industry, like there are so many resources that are free. So that is something we can learn from your home. And maybe some of the resources you will not be able to find the right, maybe quality content you have to pay. But yeah, that is not very big much of a deal. You can pay it, and maybe it will be part of your education itself. So there are few things I would suggest. So basically, I have written a like blog for it. I'll share with you, Devang. Obviously, you'll share with people. So I have covered whatever things I have learned. Not only I have personally experienced, whatever things I have heard in my college life. Maybe I have started in preparation in my third year of my college. So till that point of time, till now, whatever things I have heard, okay, these are the best resources. I have attached it, and maybe you can share it. So I'm not going to talk about what is that resources, but I will talk about how I come up with the resources. When I was studying in my tier 3 college, so I have so many questions, to be honest. Like I was like so confused, like everyone. I want to get into a good company, but I don't know how to get. To be honest, I couldn't find my answers even from my college seniors, and to be honest, from my faculty itself. So I reached out. Like reached out in the sense I started using LinkedIn, I started using Quora. I was trying to reach out to multiple people, try to understand, okay, what is something they are doing, what is something that is expected. So there are multiple resources I have gathered. So what I felt is right. So Quora and LinkedIn are the two things you can use when you want to like when you want some kind of advice from someone, or you want to kind of a right path, you can choose it. From resources perspective, YouTube, there are plenty of channels, and for some of the things I felt like there are few books, for example, cracking the coding interview. There is something called as head first design patterns. There are few books which I felt it's very, very good to start with, because they have covered so many great stuff in that. And for few things I have explored in kind of a Udemy, something like that. But one thing I want to point it out, like when I started, I was exploring all the resources, because what happens, obviously Geek for Geeks are there, but what happens is like, so for example, if you take one resource, somebody might have explained something in their own perspective. Maybe 80% is correct, 90% is correct. You might feel, okay, something is missing. You go and reach the same topic in a different resource, maybe a book, maybe another blog, another article. You will see a different perspective altogether, because like learning computer science is most of the times you will be solving one particular problem, let's say one programming problem. There are n number of solutions to the same problem. So try to cover as much as knowledge as possible. I will explain the way you can study this. So that's how I come up with the resources. So if you see in the same article, like whatever I'm going to share, there will be multiple resources for the same topic. You can either choose one, or you can even go through all of these ones. But I have gone through all of these ones because I want to make sure that like whatever thing I am learning starting from my career, it should be very concrete. So you can spend a good time on that. So that's what I would say. Go for all the resources. One thing I want to make sure is like whenever you are going through all these resources, if you are not able to understand, if you feel like there are something that is missed, go and learn in this different source. So that's how you will get that confidence. Okay, if this particular topic I know 100%. So that is something I want to make it clear. As long as you feel like any resources is valuable to me, it's okay, good to go. But I will share the resources anyway. Yeah, there you go.
Thanks a lot for such detailed explanation, and I will definitely share the article in the description. I personally have read that, and it's really, really amazing.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah. What's the next one?
Yeah. The next question that I receive on a very common basis is that, Bhaiya, I don't know what to make for the college project, like from tier 3 companies to ask for recruiters to go for the tier 1 companies. It's very important for a fresher to make the colleges to projects that are of industry levels, right? So what could be you give the advice to the juniors that what could be some good projects that they can build in their resume?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So I would say like most of here also I'm talking in detail because this is also some confusion that is going on. So most of the people tend to go with, okay, maybe some cool stuff. When they ask about cool stuff, they will go for AI, maybe Python. I'm not telling that those are bad things, But what I
Yeah.
tell is right. So whenever you are going to do any particular project, there can be any kind of project. Basically, you can develop an Android app, you can build a website, you can develop something even using some Arduino. You can do anything, whatever you want. But before going to start any particular project, try think of these two things. One thing is like, is that particular problem you are going to solve with that particular project, whatever thing, is complex enough for you. It's like it will bring some kind of a learning for you, or you're kind of experimenting it. So most of the time, try to choose one which kind of brings you the complexity. So for example, I have explained dictionary. It's not very complex to be honest, but if you start designing a dictionary on a very high industry scale, you have to think about
Yeah.
so many things. Trust me. So you might answer that question also, Devang. You have to choose about the right data sets. You have to choose like how to render that. So there are so many different core concepts will come into the picture. So the first thing is like identify the right problem before even thinking about what kind of technology you are going to use, what kind of things. And I have seen so many people now trying to implement visualizer like kind of a tool where you can choose what kind of algorithms you want and what kind of feeding. That's one of the cool projects. It might not look so fancy, but there are so many things going inside it because you are basically implementing the live data sector, what is happening into the CPU, some kind of visualizer, right? So same kind
Yeah.
of thing. Identify something which is cool enough, at the same time identify something which is complex enough so that you feel like, okay, once I'm done with this project, I will get some very good learning. That is the first thing I want to focus on. Second thing, focus on the tech. So tech in the sense, any, like for example, AI, Python, or whatever thing, because there are few things you might feel like it's very dragging. There are few things you might feel like, okay, it's very simple. Maybe I didn't feel that much of thing after learning that. So try to go with the one you feel like that will be valuable in the future. So what I would suggest is like maybe obviously Python based, because there are so many things you can do with Python. Literally, you can write a script, you can develop games. There are so many things you can go with Python. So if you're finding any complex problem, try to solve with Python. And there are other things which I personally feel maybe I am interested. It's not biased. It's up to you. Which is AI and data related and ML related stuff. Because it is really good. Because like when you start working on any AI related things, you feel like there are so many computer science fundamentals you have to know very strong when
Yeah.
you're like dealing with a very complex problem. So if you clearly notice it, like I'm choosing particular tech because the main reason is like because it's going to like put so many courses, whatever I have talked about, what are like programming, problem solving, CS into the particular project. So whenever you are facing any interview or maybe even a recruiter, when they see the project, okay, they feel like, okay, whatever thing that is expected, you are implemented. So that's
Yeah.
why that's a very clear picture, not only to the recruiter, even the HM. They will definitely ask you if you're a fresher what kind of things you have done in your college. And this is a great way of explaining what you have done. Let's say I have built a website, to be honest. I can explain it 5 minutes. Okay, this is what I have done. And after that, most of the time, what recruiters or maybe hiring managers, what they do, right? They will introduce a very complex version of that particular thing you have developed. They want you to see, okay, how are you able to manage such things when the same project, whatever you have done, is much more complex to the industry standards. So whenever you are working on any particular project, think like you are going to develop something directly to the customer. Then because whenever you are doing something in the college, what we'll do, okay, it's my project, I'll do something, I'll finish it. Don't do
Yeah.
something like that. Feel like this is something you are going to develop. Feel like, okay, if this is going to be a customer, this is going to be used to be by some people, it should be very good, right? It should be a very good standard. So that is something make sure that like when you're going with the project. That's what I would suggest, to be honest.
So thanks a lot for providing such a detailed explanation. The next question that I generally receive from the tier 3 college students is that they generally complain that they don't have any contacts in the tier 1 companies. They don't know anyone from the tier 1 companies working there. So how to
Ah,
approach the recruiters or the hiring managers or in general the employees to get a referral from that and then have a positive response from them?
yeah, it's another good question. So let's say I will separate into two things. Let's say if you are still in a college, if you are a student, you are still studying, try to go to other colleges. To be honest, that is the best way you can get connected. When I was in my college, in my third year or maybe in my second year, maybe fourth year, I got placed. I was not able to do that. Start
Yep.
right from my second year. Maybe first year you might need some things to get settled in. You might need to focus a little bit on studies. Maybe right from your second year, you can start attending or going maybe even workshops, even you can go attend any competition in other colleges which are better than it most of the time. For example, when I was studying, I went to VIT and I went to a few other colleges like that. Similarly, according to you, what else college you can go something near to your college. So that is the first way you can basically. That was my first step when I was really want to see what is something those candidates are bringing in. Maybe what is something they have something different. When I went there and I talked with them, I realized okay, I'm lagging behind so much. So that is the first step I did even before I started working, even before I started like having LinkedIn and everything. Nowadays I can see there are so many students from college having LinkedIn right from the first year. I was not having that. I started LinkedIn maybe in my third year, I believe, like that. So that is the first thing you can do. Get connected with them. I even got some personal contact when I went to VIT and there are a few other colleges. I still have those contacts. So that is the best thing you can actually interact with. So second thing, let's say maybe you want to reach out to people who is in working, or maybe you want to reach out to some kind of a recruiter. So thing is like so when I started, I was in the same situation. So what I did, I tried to selectively, maybe selectively in the sense I select few people whom I feel like okay, oh, okay, they will reply me back. First of all, so please try to go through the profile of the candidate. Candidate in the sense, any person who are seeing in the LinkedIn, try to go
Yep.
through the profile and see like, okay, select a list. Maybe every day I have a list of maybe 20 people or 30 people. I will generate a list. Okay, these are the people I'm going to send a connection. I will send out the connection to everyone. Most of the times I will just give you a very brief hi or something like that. Good to connect with you, something like that. So just try to connect with people because I would say maybe not 20 people will accept you. Maybe at least 5 people will accept you if your profile looks professional in the sense at least you maintain the basic things. So that is the first thing. Try reaching out to people. Don't be shy. Don't be like, okay, I have to send a request or not. Sometimes I even sent like 100 requests. I never got a reply. So once you get the reply, talk with maybe you feel like talking maybe two people that send out a message. This is what is expected. This is what I want. Maybe this is the doubt I have. Just try to
Yep.
build that personal connection with the guy so that one thing maybe you'll be able to learn something new from that guy. Other thing maybe if that particular candidate might be in particular person might be in some good companies. If they come across some role and they personally know you, you have maybe for 4 3 months, they will be ready to refer you. So that are
Yep.
two things you can do it. Like LinkedIn, so one I have told if you're in a college, you can reach out, you can go to other colleges and you can participate in other things, get friendly, connect with more people. And if you're not able
Yep.
to do so, you can do it via LinkedIn. You can reach out to people, but be sensible. Be because most of the people will be working. Like I even haven't replied all the people. So I try to reply whenever I can. Similarly, like so many people like really wants to help you, but at the same time they will also be busy. Like try to get that time. Try to whenever you have the time, maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, ask the direct questions, get the right answers. So those are the basic things. And third things you can do is like nowadays, I think there are so many kind of a community are starting in. So many academies are starting. Maybe most of the things are not paid one. You can basically join the community. You can learn with each other. So similarly, you can join these kind of communities. Basically, if you want to interact, not only interact, if you want to learn also, maybe some people might feel like, okay, I'm a person who will be not able to self-learn everything. I need maybe few people to encourage. So these are the ways.
Yep.
Maybe you can join any of the community. And even if that is possible, there are few academies that have started in. I don't want to name it because I'm not going to market anything. So there are very good academies started. So they are giving really good support for people who are from tier three or not only tier three, maybe tier one college people also who find some kind of lack in their basic skills. They are educating you. They are helping you. Obviously, you have to pay. That is something up to your wish. But they are giving the right set of mentorship because they are connecting with the people who are already working there, maybe senior of some other college. So these are the ways because the reason why I'm telling this, but maybe 4 years back, 5 years back, like these most of things are doesn't exist. Now these things have started coming in, which is giving so much opportunities outside of your college. So don't think maybe you might end up in a very bad college. Maybe some of the colleges you might think you'll never go into product companies. But there are I would say 90% of the 90% of the companies doesn't care about college if you have the right skill, if you have the right kind of things that you put it. bring it onto the table what the company is.
Yeah.
So these are the ways. Like I have told all those things. I think college I have told, LinkedIn I have told, academy you can join, and there is one more thing called as open source. So open source is something you might able to network with people outside of the country itself, maybe completely different place altogether. Try to like maybe choose because there are so many open source projects are available. Try to choose one which you feel like maybe at that particular level, whatever you are in. Right. So let's say if I want to choose any particular open source subject, what I will do, I will search and see. Okay, if I do this particular open source thing, maybe I will get some good knowledge. At the same time, maybe I will get good connections of people. So that's why I'm telling. There are so much, and you can even part of the competition in any of the coding sites online. So there are tons of ways. You name it. Like there are so many ways you can basically reach out to these people. The only thing you have to do is like you need to know what is your current level basically. What are the things you have to learn? What is your path? So I will give you an example. When I started in my college, maybe second year, I know the basic programming, of course, like I know the basic things, but so many things I have to learn. So what I did is like I made a very clear plan. Okay, this plan is going to take almost 1 year, to be honest. I started exactly my second year. I started doing every day like 4 hours, 8 hours, depends upon the time and everything. But I constantly maintained that. So at the same time, I was building the network through LinkedIn. So please make a plan according to you. Maybe you are already at very good level. Maybe you are maybe one step or two step away from getting into a product company. Maybe you are from someone who doesn't even know what is programming. So you should know your level. You should find a right mentor who can guide you and give you the plan. Okay, this will take some time. So these are things you have to learn. And after that, just go and do it every day. So once you start doing it, you will get that people. Like to be honest, when I started LinkedIn, I started as a place where I can get my questions answered. But I end up having more than 10K connections. So you'll never know what will happen one day in your life. So that's what I would say. Just be active and you will go and reach out to people. You'll get all the connections now.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for the detailed explanation.
Sorry. So to specific for one, you are doing this, and there is one more thing I have seen from so many people, like before even preparing, many people coming and asking for the referral. To be honest, like referral is not an easy process. To be honest, like every company have a referral process because they trust the employees who are working in. Okay, whatever profile that is coming from that particular person who is referring, they have a very strong recommendation that this person will be eligible in the sense this person will be able to clear the process. 90, like I think the success rate is like 30 to 40%. I don't know the exact number, depends on the company also. So before reaching out to any recruiter or any person you want to refer, just make sure that you have got everything. So anyone, like even I have referred so many people, to be honest, but I'll make sure that I give referral to the right people, because like when you are giving too much referral to every people, maybe the person who is deserve even lost their value, because I can't go and give every referral to every, because recruiter also will lose some trust on me. I'm like doing it for every person. So that way I want to make sure that I'm giving to the referral to the person who I believe like, okay, at least they'll be able to go. So don't think this is a kind of a harsh thing. This is something very reality, because you have, so people who are deserved to get it need to get it. That is the thing. So make sure that before you are going to reach out to any recruiter or any person who wants to refer, just make sure, ask them to go through your profile. Let them ask them, okay, if you can refer me. If not, please tell me what are the things you can improve. And just go and come back and prepare that and go back to that person again, ask him to refer back. So this is the best way you can basically trade off yourself. When I even asked to like refer, like when I joined my first company, I didn't get from my college. I got to a different way altogether. So I want, because I constantly have a constant feedback. Okay, what are the things I have to improve? So the main thing I have focused on is like not to reach out and not to go for the interview. I would say I will tell this, like, to be honest, getting the interview opportunities are more harder than clearing the interview. Sometimes you will have all the skills to basically clear the interview, but getting the interview opportunity is very hard. Depends upon the company. Just make sure that you are following these basic things to get the right job. That's what I would say. Yeah, man.
Thanks a lot for this detailed explanation once again. So my last question for this session would be that any particular message that you want to give to your juniors or the college grads who are going to pass out, or the entry-level roles, anything from your personal experience, any interview phase, anything concluding points you would like to tell?
Yeah. So one thing maybe I have already told about this. So many people actually have the right skills. I feel right skills in the sense maybe they might have the skills, but they might even learn in some period of time. But the core thing I feel lacking is like many people doesn't know the exact plan. Plan as in the sense like they don't know. Okay, so many people come and ask, okay, I have experience in Java. So
Yeah.
no product company will give you a job because you have experience in Java. That doesn't mean that whatever work you have done is not valuable. That is not the way I'm telling. I'm telling you there are so many other things that comes into the factor. Just make sure that whatever thing you have maybe because so many people are kind of fixed in their mind. Okay, if I know these kind of languages, I can get into the product. It's nothing like that. So just make sure that you understand the process. That is the first thing I want to talk to the many people. Not my juniors, anyone who is not in the right state to maybe understand what is expected. First, make sure that set the expectation. Expectation is okay. What is expected? And second thing I would communicate is like maybe I'm kind of summarizing everything. Just make sure that what is your current level. How to find out the current level, right? Maybe you can talk with the person. Maybe in your surrounding itself, you can feel like okay, this person is might be doing something better than it's, you may ask, you may be comparing to others. It's not like comparing to others. You can
Yeah.
able to see what you are lacking behind, and you can improve yourself. So similarly, try to find a goal and improve yourself. And third thing is most important thing I would say, reaching out to people. It's like it's the most important. It's another skill set I would say. Even some of the recruiters might feel so confident on you because you are able to come from a very small company. You are able to like done all these things stuff, and you are able to like find these many connections. This is also very core skill. Maybe this skill set might all be might be used in the product company, any place you are going to work. So that's what I would say. This is the third thing. And fourth thing is what many people like. Some people might know the plan, but what happens? They kind of start. You know, right? You might can answer this question as Deva. So programming is like a interesting thing, but it requires lots of patience, like a lot of time to
Yeah.
call, lot of so first thing I would say, many people might have like because impressed by the other factors like that brings to the software industry. Okay, you can get good package, you can get good things. But the most important thing is like if you have that kind of mentality and you're coming and trying to prepare, you're not able to prepare it because trust me, it's like a lot of patience, lot of day-to-day learning, and lot of things you have to do. Even when you are in a very good position, maybe a 5 years, 6 years, still you have to learn. This industry requires you to go beyond and learn something new. So until unless if you don't have a passion, you don't have the passion for this thing, you are kind of faking yourself to doing it. Like I'm telling you, like sooner or later you'll start hating this. So first try to understand whether you really have the passion or not. Because what happens when you start doing the preparation, you realize that, okay, maybe I'm not able to do it different, but I don't like it. Maybe I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. First thing, whether you have inspiration or not. Second thing, follow find what is expected. Third thing, prepare the right plan. Third thing, choose a mentor. Sorry, fourth thing. Fifth thing is like proper like you got the plan right. Just
Yeah.
prepare a timeline kind of thing, and what are the resources and these things you can always get help from someone, and you can figure it by yourself itself. So this is not a big thing I would say. Just keep focus and keep having a interaction with your mentor or someone whom you feel like okay I can do it. So these are the things I would suggest, like even not from a junior, even I am following till now. Maybe I am a particular person, I want to go to my next question. In the sense these are the core things I follow. So what is
Yeah.
expected, what is the position I am in, and what I have to do to basically go from my place to that place. So these are the basic things okay. And other than then, one more thing that is also I felt like many of the people not focusing on the soft skills. Soft skills, I have told it's very important. I have seen so many candidates got not got hired even though they have a very good solid understanding of all the core concepts and the technical things and programming stuff because they don't have the right kind of mentality to come in. So
Yeah.
prepare those skills also. These things, how you can prepare this, like basically these things you can prepare by watching others how they are doing it. At the same time, you can implement it in your day-to-day tasks itself. Maybe related to your work and maybe something what you're doing inside. So these are the way I would say you can make yourself. And after this, you can reach out to the people. So many of the people spend time for reaching out to the people, okay, asking for the referral, asking for the job. So that is the last step, I would say. There are so many things you have to do before even going to that level. So make sure that you have finished all these things. After that, you can go and reach out to people. Obviously, you can take like as many as mock interviews as possible. So those things are, I would say, the easiest part. Maybe the first thing is the most hardest part. So that is maybe the suggestion or maybe my kind of idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So thanks a lot for such detailed explanation again. And it was a wonderful session from you. I learned a lot from myself. And I'm sure that many of the juniors will be watching it, or any person in general who will be watching it, will have definitely learned a lot from your experience and everything that you have shared. Thank you so much for this session.
Yeah, Devang, I'm really happy like what you are doing, and you are taking your free time and you are also doing this for your people and other people. This is really great. But one thing and one more thing I want to make, maybe I can tell it to all the people who are going to watch. Just don't, maybe once you watch this video, don't be like, this is another video you have watched or come across. Just note down everything. One of the key things I follow in my life is like sometimes what happens, you might learn something somewhere, but sooner or later you'll start, maybe you'll never realize that you forgot that. Write it down. Maybe you can have your personal diary or something like that. That will really help you. Not even I have written down the mistakes I have done in my life when I was in my college life. So that is something, maybe if you write it down and maybe you can see it after 3 or 4 years, you can see what level you are in and what level you are at right now. So that is something I would say. So if someone is able to prepare the right plan after watching my video, I'll be really happy.
I'm sure a lot of people will do that, and a lot of people will be able to get into their team companies.
Yeah, man. And maybe one more question I want to answer. Maybe many people might have this not confusion, maybe thinking going on because of the situation, what is happening. Obviously, everyone knows whether they will be able to get the job or not. I have seen like maybe, yeah, obviously situation is worse in the sense many of the companies and most of the economies has been got a very big hit. But I feel like there are few companies doesn't go through any kind of a loss because they're backed up by like good number of funding and everything. And there are few companies still hiring. Don't be get worried about all this extra stuff, but keep an eye on it. Maybe this might influence your plan and other things. But don't lose your confidence. Don't lose your hope. There are still so many opportunities, and still companies are hiring. So that's what I feel from my circle, my community. So don't worry about that. I want to call it out there. Okay. Yeah.
So once again, let's conclude this session, and thanks a lot for giving your time and so much valuable advices.
Thank you for your time also, Devang. See you soon. Good luck for all the people who is prepared.
Sure.